am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Hey, I see. Listen, I forgot to change my name on here, but it's all right. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. I've missed you so much. Let me change this. I'm not Pastor Sue today, so let me change. I see y'all coming in. Do me a favor. While I'm changing my name, go ahead and share this out. I have missed y'all so much. You know, we've been gone, not really taking a break because I have been working. But took a little break from Inspire and been doing some traveling for ministry stuff and doing the thing. Literally got back this morning from Las Vegas from the T-Fan conference. Shout out to the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. We had a fabulous time in Las Vegas, and I'm operating on a few hours of sleep because we got in. What time did we get in? Like 3:00 this morning, and so I just wanted to make sure that we wasn't canceling Inspire this morning. Okay, so. All right, now I got that good. Hey, y'all. It's good to see you. I see you come in. Brother, it's so good to see you. Dave Tony, Dr. Chella Belcher. Dave, are you still in Las Vegas? I see you guys coming in on Instagram. So if you see me waving this way, I'm waving to our Instagram folk. Good morning. Good morning, C.E. Currian. I hope I pronounced that right. If I did not, please forgive me. But it's so good to see all of you coming in on Instagram. Hey, brother Joseph B. Devlin Jr. It's so good to see you. Do me a favor, y'all. Share this conversation today. I'm really excited. Listen, my guest is from Brooklyn. Her organization's from Brooklyn. Y'all know I'm Brooklyn down to the socks. I miss me some of my Brooklyn. I miss me some New York. So I'm excited to get in conversation with my Brooklyn colleague this morning. But yeah, there's been a couple things happening. All right, Kamala. We didn't get a chance to talk about Kamala and Waltz and all of this stuff because, we haven't been on. But I want to hear your thoughts. What has surprised me, there's so many people there's been a shift. Okay, so since Kamala, decided to run, and now Waltz is involved. There's been a kind of shift. There's been some organizing, galvanizing going on for the Democratic Party, but there's been so many people that I've seen on social media, just some of us, okay, that are not that are just like, I'm not with her. They're really adamant about not being with Kamala. And I don't know. I just, I don't think you should vote for someone just because they're of color, just because they're Black, right? But I think I was sharing with someone that the other guy has made some promises and has shown when he was in office that he makes good on those promises, right? I don't want to live in a country that is that's a dictatorship. I don't want to live in a country that, you know, all of the progression that we've made. Listen, we really have a long way to go. But all of those things being ripped from us, being ripped from marginalized communities, underserved communities, from women, from members of the LGBTQ community, from listen, I don't want to live in that type of right where we ain't going back. So I'm not going to say that Kamala don't have there are problems with every politician, right? Like this an issue. You can find something wrong with every politician, but I today I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for the promise of a of good change than the sure thing, which we know will happen if Homeboy is put back in office. So that's just my thoughts. Share yours. Share yours. I see you over there. Share some stuff. Come on, Queen. Listen, Queens is in the house on Instagram. I was raised in Queens, went to Flushing High School. Listen to me. My peoples is on. I'm excited. I'm excited. If you just joined us, welcome to Inspire. I'm your host, Sue A. Webley. If you kind of stumbled upon this broadcast this morning, you don't know what is happening. Let me tell you about myself. I am an author, an entrepreneur, an award-winning minister, and Inspire is a live interview style broadcast on a mission to encourage, empower, and embolden individuals to create change in their personal lives, their communities, and the world. And as our guests are entrepreneurs, influencers, creatives, and others share their testimonies, tips, and tools with us. We hope that you are inspired to elevate your mindset, pursue your dreams, and to do, as the late Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon put it so eloquently, the work that your soul must have. We are live right now on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. So, hey, y'all, joining us from all of those platforms. I want you to do me a great big favor and connect, follow, like, and subscribe. So I'm building up our two platforms for the Inspire with Sue W. So please follow and like and all of that good stuff. Inspire with Sue W on Facebook and Instagram. And also for more information about Inspire itself and to subscribe to our mailing list, go to www.getinspired.live. Subscribe to our mailing list. There's some wonderful things coming up with Inspire and the Inspire Network, and we don't want you to miss anything. You can listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We are Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms, all those platforms. So y'all know how I do if you've been with me any amount of time. What are you sipping on this morning? What's in your cup? What is in your cup? It's a water, it's a juice, it's a coffee, it's a tea, it's a smoothie. What you got? If it's something stronger, I'm not judging you. What do you have in your cup? My cup this morning is Inspired Black Excellence. And I typically have coffee in my cup, but I just got home at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't have any coffee in the house. So it is water in my cup this morning. I know, don't be shocked because, y'all know how I do with the coffee. Speaking of coffee, I have some things coming up, right? For coffee lovers, gonna have a little coffee inspired coffee line coming up, launching this fall, and gonna add tea to it too. You'll have more information about that. But let me take a sip of this water while you tell me what you are sipping on. Come on, morning smoothie. Tell me what you're sipping on this morning. I see you there, brother. Come on, Instagram. Y'all popping this morning. Maya is drinking Cafe Bustelo. Dave is still in Las Vegas. He has vodka. Listen, whatever you are sipping on, let me know. Let me know what's in your cup, and let me know where you are watching from. I already know Brooklyn and Queens is in the house, and so Vegas is in the house right now. Let me know you are drinking coffee, 2 cups of coffee. Come on, come on, get this coffee going. Now, y'all know I love mushroom coffee. Mushroom coffee is a particular brand that I like. I don't like Rise. It is too grainy. I tried it. I tried to like Rise. It's too grainy, but um, there's a particular brand. If you want to know what that brand is, hit me up, let me know, and I will tell you, because they're not paying me for that advertising. They are not paying. They're not paying me for advertising that particular coffee, but it is a mushroom coffee. I do get it off of Amazon, and I will let you know. I'll inbox you what that brand is. Because my sibling, Dr. Renee Min, yes, I will DM you, Dave. My sibling, Dr. Renee Amin, introduced me to that coffee, and I've been hooked. Harlem, New York, Maya. All right. Harlem in the house, New York in the house, Brooklyn in the house, Queens is in the house. Let me just make sure. Yes, I missed you at the Elder Boaz. I missed you at the conference. Hey, Deaconess Angie, it's so good to see you. All right, you from Ohio. Quita is watching. Quita's watching as well. And all right, we're going to move forward into our program today. I've missed you, so I've been yapping more than usual because I've missed all of you guys. But we have an amazing guest, Therese Myers, who's the founder of Yes Girls Create, and we have been trying to get this thing on the calendar, have our calendars align, our schedules align for her to join us today. And I'm so excited that we are able to connect and have a conversation this morning. So Yes Girls Create is a nonprofit youth mentorship organization dedicated to uniting girls 8 to 18 years old through creative collaborative events. They host monthly labs where girls receive hands-on training and mentoring from adult women who create positive impact in the community. I've already said to Therese that, listen, if I was in Brooklyn, I would be totally down. And so we're going to work on some virtual things for some of the girls in her program, and excited about that. But the mission of Yes Girls Create is to unite girls through creative collaborative events, promote the creation of positive friendships, and enhance the creative spirit and self-esteem of girls under the auspice of empowering her to dream. Their vision is that every young woman sees her dreams as viable and obtainable and has access to seeing successful adults that look like her, and has the concrete tools to manifest success in all aspects of life. And as we get ready to have a conversation with the amazing founder, let's take a look at, they had a conference, a Be Well conference recently in February. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that conference.
Today's Be Well, Be Creative is about speaking to our younger selves. It's super imperative that our girls understand that they matter, that their ideas matter, that their voices matter.
Hi, I'm Danielle Nicole.
And I'm Nadine G.
And we are the creators of Building Exponential Wellness, also known as Be Well.
And we're so grateful for you trusting your children with us.
It's important for us girls to dream. The reason we need yoga is because it allows us to be more creative. It allows us to really understand who we are and our impact into not just ourselves, but the world. And I really enjoyed myself working with the girls today. They were open, they were honest, they had a lot of questions, the energy was great.
Today I had the opportunity to share my presentation entitled Rethink Your Drink. Rethink Your Drink is important because I talk about the harmful dangers of sugar consumption. Wanted to let the girls know how they can be an advocate for their own health.
The things I've learned today is about entrepreneurship, about leadership, and working with my fellow friends. Recently started my own jewelry brand. It's called the Grand Lewis Luxury. I love learning from Pardon My Fro. The CEO came to speak to us, and she gave us a little insight on entrepreneurship, on how to always be authentic and honest. That's the key to getting sales.
Pardon My Fro is trying to show young girls that You're coming out of who you are, what you are, and no one needs to be asking you anything. You're stepping out in your greatness every single day. You're always going to have that joy. Your crown is always going to be your superpower.
So I think it's so important to tell your story and allow your story to inspire others. And I know traditionally, very often it's adults that are doing the inspiring and sharing with children. But I'm here with my daughter, and she is my inspiration. She's been a huge inspiration to our family. She's the first entrepreneur in our family.
Having grown up in a household of strong Black women, with my great-grandmother, my grandmother, my mom, and my sisters, to be able to give back to our community an experience where young girls can see themselves. Not everyone is able to see that type of legacy in their home, and so we want to open up opportunities for young girls to really be able to see themselves in the women in our community.
I'm a girl who creates, and yes, I am great.
Wow. Listen, I am inspired already.
Hello. Thank you so much. Listen, that's nice to be able to go back and see just the recap of all of that. Sometimes when you're in it, you don't really get a chance to absorb all that has transpired. And as I was looking, I was like, oh, wow, I missed that. So it's good for me also to be able to see it. Thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you so much for joining us. Again, I'm so grateful that our calendars, our schedules align.
Yes.
You've been doing some good work. I told her before we went live, you're getting in some good trouble
like that,
with the organization there in Brooklyn. And, I love it already just because it's from Brooklyn.
You know what I love, yes, and I love when our Brooklyn people stand up. I love when my Queens people stand up. We have really spanned the globe in terms of impact and reach, and I love that every borough claims us, so that is a wonderful thing.
Yeah. So before we get into our conversation, what are you sipping on this morning?
So good morning, everyone. I'm Therese Myers, founder of Yes Girls Create. I am actually sipping on water. I said it's 10 o'clock early. Usually I have my coffee, but this day I said I have to give my stomach a bath. So I'm drinking water this morning.
Now, is that the Yes Girls Create logo on your cup?
Oh, yes, it is. One of my.
Oh, wait, no, listen, I need to put you, okay, let's see that. I love it.
Someone gifted this to me. So this was a birthday gift. But we always got a lot of swag going on. So today I chose this cup because one, for the ounce capacity, but it is a great thing just to always keep us in mind. When you're thinking about beautiful things to remind you of Yes Girls Create. We got all kind of fun swag that we give the girls and our ambassadors just to stay top of mind. So
yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm going to have to get my hands on one of those cups. So
yes, we have to officially let you know that you're in the Yes Girls Create family. So absolutely,
come on, listen, yes. Come on now. And I will drink out of it often. So yes.
You won't have a choice. It's gonna be all blinged out and looking good. You'll be like, let me just take this right here. And we're gonna put an Inspire on the other side of it because that goes.
Listen, come on. I love it. So tell us about what inspired you to found the Yes Girls Create organization.
People always think that it's this miraculous moment in time, but I will tell you, I was riding the train one day home from my work. I've worked in corporate America for over 30 some odd years. And one day, just about 5 years ago, I was riding the train and I was thinking to myself, God, there has to be something more for my life. Mm-hmm. Always a burning feeling, always knowing that there's something more, but not quite knowing what that looked like. And I happened to be talking to a friend and she says, oh, why don't you try this, transformational leadership class that I went to. And I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to network. I'm going to be hanging out with some people and doing some things. I was amped and ready, right? She's like, I'm going to gift this to you. She says, expect nothing and gain everything. And so I went, I attended, and I was complaining because it was 3 long days that I had to, take out my busy schedule. And when I went, it absolutely changed my life. And during that weekend, it helped me to really kind of realize some potentials that I were I was pushing down things that really was sitting in my soul that I did not realize. And fast forward, after the workshop, I had brought a friend with me to come, learn about it. And the moderator said, look to the person to your left and what will you be doing 1 year from today? And you had to do it really quickly, and you had to just say whatever came to your mind. And what I spoke was, I'm going to create a girls group, and it's going to be called Girls Create. And in that moment, Yes Girls Create was birthed. I didn't know I was sitting on it. I was thinking, I don't even know if I even like kids, I was like, I think whatever that was, it just sparked it in me. I have 3 daughters. My oldest is 30. My youngest is, she'll be 17 this month. And at the time I was thinking, I want them to have healthy relationships. I want them to have healthy friendships with other young kids. And I want them to be kids. I want them to be able to see themselves in healthy relationships. I want them to be able to see themselves in other women who I know, because I am in a connective community, are doing wonderful things. And it is, how do I make that happen? Right? Because it's almost, nonprofits probably are really created because there's a need that someone has identified that you were birthed to fill, in all honesty. And me, the feeling of that was, I have, my children, and I know they have some friends. So, let me just try this. Did I know it was going to be a nonprofit? No, I just was creating this girls group, and this is what it was going to be. I don't even know how the idea of creating a nonprofit came to my mind, because I had no knowledge. I had no representation in that space. I had my grandmother had a nonprofit when my granddad died, and she said, let me tell you a little bit about this. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll try that, and I started to hear all the different buzzes of why it wouldn't work. And, of course, not having any insight into it, some things is like, we got to pay for, right? So I paid for it to go through the official channels of that, because I wanted it to be exactly what God called it to be, and to be great, and to be it in the right way, and to tag in the people who absolutely would see the vision and not see me, right? Because I think people get it confused when they see us in service. They're seeing the individual. While yes, I may represent that, but the vision of what this is called to be is much bigger than me. So I often tell people, don't see me, see the message, see what it's about, and just know that in this case, I'm a willing worker, right? But it was created literally just from breathing the words out. It is about manifestation. It is about declaring what you want for your life, no matter what that is, good, bad, and ugly. So we got to be careful what we declare and what we speak life into. And in that moment, that was birthed. I didn't know how it was going to be. I went and got my own trademark. I got my I didn't have a place, so I had to call in all these wonderful business owners across, the Brooklyn, Queens area to help me. My daughter was going to a daycare, and the daycare, she had went there prior, and I told her about the vision, and she was like, use my space. That was a game changer, right? So that one yes created a yes for a cycle of opportunities to help Yes Girls Create get started.
So that one yes created other yeses.
Yeah. Yes. Correct. And then the first yes actually was me saying yes to someone inviting me to a workshop that was about something I had no idea about, right? Because most times we only want to stay in the realm of things we know. So for me to say yes to something that was unknown, of course, I had to trust the person that was sharing it with me. And then me being a yes to the next step. And all of that is absolutely in faith, because I didn't know anything. So that is the true call to faith, right? Being a yes and obedient to whatever is calling you in that direction.
Do you hear what the words that Therese is speaking?
I hope.
Say yes.
Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. But and have discernment, right? But you know when that yes is the meaningful moment to create a better world, whether it's a better world for you as an individual or a better world for something bigger than you. And we totally know the difference. Sometimes we want to act like we don't know the difference. But if it's keeping you up at night, I remember someone saying, if it's that feeling of butterflies, if it's always thinking, how can I make and do it better? Is it for the betterment of my family? They may not see it, they're all in, but they may not necessarily see it at the time. But it's called, like, we were born to be great, in all honesty, right? So how do we take that feeling, that thing we know in our head, and really begin to execute it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Therese. If you just joined us, I see you, Reverend Dr. Nakia Robert. I see you, Crystal. Hey, Shantae Moore. It's so good to see you. Elisa, good morning. Good morning. I hope you made it home safely from Vegas. Yes, that one, yes, that leap of faith. I see you
Yes.
all on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. We are in conversation with the amazing Therese Myers, who is the founder of Yes Girls Create in NYC, in my native Brooklyn. I got the red Brooklyn.
Yes, yes.
And so we're having an amazing conversation. Chuck Hunt, I see you checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. So, can you share, since the founding of the Yes Girls Create organization, can you share a particularly memorable moment or a success story with us that reinforces why your yes to this was important?
There's probably so many moments, but the two top ones that I'll say is one, looking at that video that you played at the top of it, right? So this started literally in a conference room of me saying, I'm going to create a girls group, and it's going to be called Girls Create, right? Yes, Girls Create. That's a whole other conversation of how it evolved into that name of a direct example that what God has for you, He has for you, because someone else had the name already, and then they let the trademark go, and I end up getting Yes Girls Create. So that's how that came about. But the looking at the video, it started from a conversation that I was having with my sister, who owns the company, the Be Well Experience. And I was like, I want to do something for the girls. I want to do a conference. And I was, I wanted to take them on this transformational journey. And I didn't have that much money. We weren't getting any kind of funding. And she was like, well, we can do that. You know enough people. And before you know it, we had the Be Well, Be Creative conference. And literally it just brought in 60 girls, over 40 women. So we had our girls seeing representation from across various industries, from wellness to creativity to a speaker from the WNBA coming to our first conference. And when you think about that, starting from just mouthing the words, right, to now what we have is a full-fledged, 9-hour day, with wonderful women sponsors and corporate sponsors that see the vision in that. So that is one success. But the biggest one that stands out to me is one of my girls who, in her mom and her said, she's not going to go to college. For a long time, she used to always say that. And I was thinking, why are they saying this? But maybe it's from some lack of representation or some thought that was planted, right? And last year we did an experience at St. John's University where we took the girls there to have them speak to some of the dancers. My daughter went to St. John's, and the young ladies got up and spoke about their experience, why they chose St. John's, why they chose dance, and where they came from. And after we left that day, the mom called me the next day and she says, she's thinking differently about college. So I was like, okay, so if it takes one, right? If it takes one, and this year she is one of our first butterflies to graduate, and she's going upstate New York to college. So it fills me like people don't, like there's so much and so many moving parts that go on behind the scenes of the conversations with my parents, with the kids, creating these spaces that sometimes you're like, did they get it? People come even as a leader, they come into our space and they're wondering like, oh, are they interested? They like this, they're not getting it. But behind the scenes, like impact is not instant. Like it's not, oh, we go there, we change lives, hey, on to the next thing. It doesn't work like that, right? You cannot, if you're going into like any place of service, particularly like I think Yes Girls Create, and you're thinking like it's about how these girls will receive you with accolades and things like that, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That means you're making it about you. You have to know that whatever you said, whatever you showed them, it is much bigger than you. And hopefully that they're hearing it somewhere in there. They're going to remember that they saw the mayor. They're going to remember that they saw the person who made perfume or baked cakes or, spoke about sororities or whatever the topic is. They made, body butters and sugar scrubs, and they're still going around chanting, that particular brand. Like that's a big thing. And the parents are saying like, hey, that was like kind of awesome, like I kind of want to do that, right? But it is about planting the seeds of that. And I think that seeing the conference for sure, because that's the idea of impact, but seeing the one individual who had a mindset shift, because that sits with me, because that probably from the day I heard them mouth the words that they're not going to college. And I was thinking, that doesn't even sound right to me. Now, if you choose that because there's another opportunity for you, that's something different. But if you don't even know what that experience could be and you have counted yourself out the race, then that's a whole different thing. So, it's those moments that show us that this is what that's for in some light. Right? I may not have had a big part in it, but I want to say that was created to help that individual and others hopefully see that they can go places and do big things.
Yeah. And it's just so important to that's important for those of us who have organizations, who are trying to start organizations, who mentor young people. That is the one. If you reach one person, right, one youth, then you've done what you've been called to do, right? Yes. So we want to have a greater impact, but it always begins with just that one young person. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. I see all of you coming in. Do me a favor, if you have a question for Therese, please post it. I will be sure that she has the opportunity to answer that question before we end our program today. Yes, impact is not instant, and that was a whole word, because we want this instant gratification. We want instant impact, and then when we don't get it, we feel that we're not being effective, right? That
Right.
And but seeds have been planted for watering, and God gives the increase. Yes. I love it. Love it, y'all. Go ahead and keep posting your comments, and please post your questions for Therese. So Therese, the mantra for Yes Girls Create is, I am a girl who creates, and I know I am great. Can you unpack that a little bit for us, and how does that play out in the programming that you have at Yes Girls Create?
So it really started when almost in probably the infancy of our organization. I don't even know how it came in. I believe it was one of an ambassador who didn't even have a daughter there, who came in and said, "Oh, you are a girl who creates, and you are great." She didn't even realize that she helped us to create that. But it is so profound in the sense that we are all creative. Like we all were created to do something bigger and better. Now, sometimes we find it early, sometimes we get it much later, but there is a creativity that's there. And if we probably stop trying to overthink it, it will come to us much naturally. And I think for our kids, it is, we try to say it often, but sometimes like we really want to make sure that they hear it. I am a girl who creates, and I am great. Like you have to, it's like pouring into yourself. People probably don't even believe it, but I'd be around here saying it to myself all the time. You're great, girl. Like you got to really say it to yourself, because otherwise there's so many conflicting thoughts that can get into your head as a young person, a teenager, as an older woman. We all have them. And I think finding something that you connect with, whether it's a mantra, whether you post it somewhere, put it on your screensaver, whatever that mantra is, for Girls Create, we want them to know you are a girl who creates and you are great. At our conference last year, we did a pinning ceremony at the end that we gave them little Yes Girls Create pins, and it had, we gave them I'll bring this up here, it says what it is, and we wanted them to read it so that they can see it. And at the end of the video, you heard one of our ambassadors, reading it off so that they can understand this is what it is. But then we wanted them to pin each other, right? Just to be able to show that I am my sister's keeper, and I hope that they have those pins sitting around somewhere in their jacket. And guess what? If they lost it somewhere in the house and it comes back to them in 3 years, it was meant to be found on that day so that they remember that they were a part of something really great, and that they are great.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing. So you have a background in corporate.
Yes.
Are you full time at Yes Girl Creates now? Or are you still
I still work.
Bi-vocational.
I still work for corporate America full time,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
still do Yes Girls Create full time, and I still lead a family full time. We are women of many capes. I will say, I thank God for my um, opportunity to be in corporate America, because what it does is it allows me to lead and coach individuals in a different space that I didn't even know. And it also affords me to be able to do all of these wonderful things that I do at Yes Girls Create, with different lens, right? It allows me to be able to see and meet so many people. So like my corporate world, and then my nonprofit space. I mean, the wonderful people that I have the chance to meet.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think like, oh, these intersections don't really cross, but it is an intersectionality. Because the women that I meet in corporate, some I may say, oh my God, this person would be great. Or I think, oh, that person needed Yes Girls Create. I have, this tribe here of Instagram and Facebook is one thing, but believe it or not, my tribe is on LinkedIn. Like that's where the people are in the constant engagement, and I meet people from all over the world who either want to hear about the organization. And I also have like a coaching business called Brand New View that I am in connection with, but it really all ties back together, right? All of these businesses, the one I work for, the one I own, and the one that I lead, is all an ecosystem of wonderful women and men, right, who see the vision and understand that it is only by us uplifting each other that we can really help create change for the future.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it look bleak out here, but we have some opportunities to make some changes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. We are going to take a quick break for you to take a sip of your water.
Thank you.
Again, thank you for joining us today for our conversation with the amazing Therese Myers. We're going to get back into some more wonderful conversation with her in just a minute. So I want to invite you again to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. You can head over to our Facebook page and our Instagram page and Inspire with Sue W. If you already follow me on my Sue A. Webley pages, thank you so much. We're trying to boost those numbers on our Inspire with Sue W pages. So please do me a favor and head on over and like those pages and follow on those social media pages for me. TikTok is not on this what you see on your screen, but I'm on TikTok. I'm trying to raise my numbers on there as well so that we could begin going live with Inspire on TikTok. So head over to TikTok. Just look for Sue A. Webley. If you put Sue A. Webley anywhere on social media, you will find me. So head over to TikTok and follow me there as well. And of course, you can always go to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can find out all about Inspire. You can see past episodes. You can find out about me, and you can join our newsletter. You can subscribe to our newsletter. We have some wonderful things coming up with Inspire and the Inspire Network, and we don't want you to miss anything. Again, you can listen later. You can follow us on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. And I just spoke about the Inspire Network. The Inspire Network is where inspiration finds its voice. And so we provide podcast consultation. If you're interested in having your own podcast or talk show, we provide consultation for that. From that to full branding packages, for your podcast or your talk show. So that's all the, all of the graphics, intro, outro videos, all of that stuff. You have support from us here at the Inspired Network. And so we want you to join us. If you want more information on how you can join the Inspired Network, please email me directly at sue@getinspired.live. And if you know someone who is on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same, we want to hear from you and we want to hear from them. We want you to join us in a conversation on a future episode of Inspire. So again, visit us at www.getinspired.live to book your appearance today. And with that, we're going to get back into our conversation with the amazing Therese Myers. Welcome back, Therese. Thank you again for joining us on Inspire today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Listen, I'm inspired just to hear of all of the wonderful things that our women leaders are doing in our communities and how they're impacting, but most importantly, how they're tapping each other in. So I thank you for helping to amplify Yes Girls Create as a brand, and behind the scenes, you was over here committing to showing our girls how to do a podcast that I'm going to hold you to. So I'm excited about that. And my mind is already rolling. Okay, what this will be awesome. The girls would love this. I don't know how we gonna make it work, but we're gonna trust and put some plans into action.
That's right. We will definitely make it work. It's just the digital space is here to stay. It's not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And it's just another form of communication, right?
Yes, yes.
So, creating with art, creating with your hands, writing, all of those things,
100%.
using the digital space is also another way of creating.
Yes.
And so yeah, I'm totally down. I'm totally down. So all of y'all heard it.
Yeah, they and anyone who knows me, they said she don't know that Teresa's already on it.
Well, I look forward to having more conversation with you about that. We will definitely make it happen. We will definitely make it happen.
And I do want to give I have to tell my listening audience that I could not figure out how to go live on my channel. So we're gonna have to make sure we share this via recording some way, because I'm like, I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, next time.
Next time.
Yep.
And again, you'll have the recording as well to upload on your platform. So folk will be able to go back and watch it again.
Thank you.
So you mentioned being a mama,
Yes.
right? So you're a mother, you work in corporate, you are, a leader, you're a business owner,
Wife, right.
Wife,
things, yes.
Yeah, all the things, all those intersectionalities, right? So how do you harmonize? How do you harmonize all of those?
That's a good word. And I don't know if I have it quite figured out yet. I will be totally transparent. It's definitely a lot of days of juggling and trying to also fit time in for myself, right? So that's often the hardest part of being a wife, a mother, working full time outside the home, having this vision that I know was given by God, and how do I create that and then also still have some fun in there? I do try to absolutely schedule a lot of the time, particularly as it relates to things that are related to organization. Work is work, right? So we know we have to go there, and we go and we leave, and then that is kind of self-contained in a lot of it, but it's also creating those boundaries, which sometimes I'm not as good at, and I often say, okay, I'm going to do better today. I give myself grace every day, and that's the space to say, okay, I want to make more time for this and less time for that. I think over this summer I have been really, really intentional about trying to walk every day, and sometimes it's walking with, some of my sister girls, or sometimes it's just walking by myself. But the idea is to, keep my mind a little sane, but it also allows me to create, because my eyes are seeing different things, and, step away when I can, and most importantly, dream, right? So when I close my eyes, I am dreaming. Probably very rarely when I go to sleep is my mind quiet. Anyone who knows me will say, I know that you're never resting, because first of all, I get up early and I go to bed late. And then when it's time to go to sleep, I'm a little angry that I get sleepy. So I try to, I do try to prioritize a little better, but, definitely spending time with my family and friends. And, that is truly what fuels me. So I'm thankful for, support in all of those spaces, particularly my family around, seeing the vision of Yes Girls Create, and how they, help also, on the day-to-day side of that.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Support is so important.
Yeah.
Support from especially from our family, from our friends, it's really important. It helps us to keep going, especially when we want to throw in the towel.
Yeah, and I really couldn't, honestly. I can tell you, and I tell people all the time, Yes Girls Create. I could not do it without the support of, my board members, my children, my family, and people who just jump in. Like, sometimes, honestly, it's the strangers who just say, I want to help and I want to do. And it's so authentic, and it's so, between people who send grants, people who send donations, people who send in-kind gifts, people who have a connection, right? Like sometimes people often think that they have to be physically in the room in order to support. It doesn't matter, right? If you share the post, if you connect with your organization, I have people who work literally in other states, and it was like, my organization has this foundation. I submitted Yes Girls Create for something, like, and I never even see that individual, right?
Wow.
So the people closest to you think that it's about something else, but it's also about that, right? Say my name when I'm not in rooms. Talk about Yes Girls Create. Know what the vision is in terms of how it could potentially impact. And just because you can, right? It's that it's not about me. It's about something that's much bigger. So the support in all forms of it means something. Every little bit means something.
Thank you. Thank you. So Yes Girls Create, that's is a mentorship model. You have a mentorship model that's
Yes.
embedded into Yes Girls Create. So how do you go about the selection process?
So there's two parts to it. So each month we have cohorts that we have female leaders coming in from across different industries across the world to mentor our girls, right? The mentorship is a conversation. It's about having them see themselves in these women who come in. And believe it or not, every person who comes into the room, I know they have to be placed by God, in all honesty, because I don't actively seek out people to come in. They have seen us, someone has shared, someone else has tapped someone in, and they have said, oh my gosh, this person will be great for this. And it does not matter the industry, because so what makes our model really unique is that it's not just a conversation. We always implement a creative activity, a tangible part to it that also relates to the topic that the mentor is speaking about, because we don't want the girls just to hear conversation, because otherwise it's going to go in one ear and out the other. So if we bring in a seamstress, who's talking about how her mom showed her how to sew, we're actually going to have the kids sew something. So we did pillows and we put affirmations on them, and we told them, get intimate with your dreams by writing what that dream is on your pillows. But they sewed that pillow, so they're going to remember it. So no matter what the industry is, that leader is coming in. We have so many referrals that sometimes I'm like, okay, I got to call people back. Please know that if you're in this listening, if I haven't called you back, call me back, because sometimes it's so hard to try to keep up with all these fantastic women. I am in many different communities of leadership, from Black Girl Ventures to Her Sweet Spot to just women in different networks that I also get a lot of wonderful referrals from. And then sometimes I'll just meet the most random person, and they turn out to be the one who was sent really to impact a young girl. And I'll be thinking, how did I meet that person? And I don't even remember, but they were meant to be a part of it. So sometimes they reach out to us, via social media platform, and I'll do probably an extensive investigation on them and just to make sure that, people are who they are. And, thank God 100% of the time people have shown up to be who they said they are.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. So if anybody's interested, go ahead and reach out. I'll be sure to share the website and ways that you can contact Therese if you're interested in becoming an experienced leader and a mentor. So for our amazing listeners who are inspired by your work, what advice would you give to them, to someone who wants to make a difference in their community, especially in supporting young people?
I would think, honestly, lean into your support and don't take yourself out of the race before you jump in. More often than not, we're going to talk ourselves out of a really great idea, a really impactful idea. The best piece of advice is the world is waiting for you. You think that your idea is not viable. Don't worry about the money, because most people will be like, I don't have the money. If I had to wait for money, I would have never done this. If you just ask, people will support you in that vision. And there may be people who don't support you. Don't worry about that, right? It's the 80-20 rule. 80% will support you, but 20% will be the ones that we worry about who didn't support you. Don't worry about those 20%. Do what you were called to do and just do it great.
I hope some of you are taking this wonderful advice to heart. What is your dream for Yes Girls Create, Therese?
I think each day I am dreaming bold dreams. I will take Yes Girls Create across the United States to every city that has a young girl who needs to dream. So I'm not going to limit it just to one place. I totally see us bringing our Be Well, Be Creative conference to different states. I see us bringing our monthly cohorts there. We have launched our Yes Girls Create Lead Her program, which are enrichment programs through the summer and winter breaks and summer breaks, which is phenomenal. So even from the idea of just Yes Girls Create, it has now transformed into Yes Girls Create Lead Her, Yes Girls Create Be Well, Be Creative. And literally, it just started from breathing the one words. Like sometimes even I forget to even think about how much we have developed and what we are implementing out there. Over the summer, there was sewing programs, there's photography programs with Shutterfly and Stacey B Photography. In addition, we are doing wellness with yogi studios here in the Queens area. So it's really amazing of the things that I've manifested probably well before today are coming to light little by little, that these partnerships with these phenomenal women-led organizations are impacting our girls even beyond the doors of where I go into on a monthly side.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you so much. How can we support you in your work?
Oh my goodness. The biggest support is to share the message of Yes Girls Create. Anyone who wants to donate or sponsor a young girl. So our girls come from many different communities with many different financial considerations. And our biggest, of course, is always funding. No matter how many grants we write, there's probably just as many as we don't get. So we do rely on our public and support of being able to donate. We're always looking for spaces in the tri-state area to bring our program to, so that we can bring more girls into it, right? Well, I don't want to just stay in one area because that's where we're getting a free space. I want to be able to go to different areas so that we can impact girls across the world. If you have a space and we can get there, we'll do the rest. So it www.yesgirlscreateinc.org is where you can find more about the programming, and our Instagram page at yesgirlscreate_inc shows a lot of our daily activities. We try to keep it engaging and fun, and we're always open to suggestions, because sometimes people may see things that we don't see. This is why they call blind spots, but we are always actively growing, and we're welcome to feedback. And one of the questions I know is going to come up, people are asking, what about the boys? We hope that there is some wonderful things that are coming down the pike in terms of boys conferences and boys mentorship groups that are direct, like our brother group, which would really be really exciting. I don't know if I'm going to be the one to lead it, but we never know. So we're excited about the things that we're dreaming about, but also what we're manifesting it to be.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing with us, for joining us today, for hanging out with me and the Inspire audience. I have put that link inside of the chat for you all. Please head over to the website at www.yesgirlscreateinc.org. Don't forget that ink.
Yes.
Inc.org to find out all about this amazing, amazing organization and how you can get involved, how you can support. And Therese, I look forward to having some of your girls on in the future, some of your entrepreneurs, just to kind of, talk about how this program, how this organization has impacted them. I look forward to meeting some of your girls and having them on Inspire.
Oh, they would. Let me tell you something. We say raise a child. We have been training and supporting them. And sometimes when I hear them speak, we were on Pix 11 in November, and then that's in the local news station here. And listen, when I listen to them, I'm inspired, because I said they're so smart and so beautiful and just so authentic, and they're really thoughtful. Like, they're thoughtful. Even the littlest ones, they're thoughtful. So I was like, okay, they get it. So we accept that, and they would love to be a part of it. And I forgot to mention TikTok. We're on TikTok also. I ain't that great at it, but we're getting there.
Well, leave it in their capable hands.
Yes, 100%. I say I stay in my lane. That's it.
Again, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to having you back and seeing all of the wonderful things that Yes Girls Create Inc. has yet to do on the earth.
Thank you.
We're so glad for your yes. We are glad for your yes.
Yes, Girls Create.
Yes, Girls Create.
Yes, Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. All y'all, listen, we are back. So make sure that you join us next week for another episode of Inspire. And you know how I do. I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated. And most of all, I want you to stay inspired. God bless you. And I will see you again next week.